win. But I was so worked up by that point, I had to really calm down for a second. So these are these are some of the things that you will experience. And they have more than their fair share of fatalities. Well, alhamdulillah, I do see now where there's a ministry of traffic and what's it called? Ministry of Traffic, Ministry of Traffic. I forget the exact name. Everything is Ministry of something, but it's Ministry of Traffic or Traffic Directorate or something like this. They do bring like what we would call like your PSH, your public service announcements, and show them how the speed kills and you need to slow down and so forth. But they have these dramatizations of car crashes, and I mean it's pretty graphic, bloody scenes with people laying out all over the sidewalk as a result of Joe Knucklehead, you're not going fast enough for him. Now he's caused a fatality either for himself or for someone else. So they are really stepping that up because it's becoming a real problem. Okay, that's both in the public service announcement I've seen for Saudi Arabia and here in Kuwait. And I think my memory is not real clear, but I think they were starting to do some things like that in Bahrain as well before I left. So this is the situation with road rage. You're going to have to be very, very patient because everybody expects you to just get out of their way. One unique thing that you will see that you don't see in the States, and that is the Islamic societies, and I've found that it's even more prevalent the closer you get to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So Kuwait is considered to be on the peninsula, on the Arabian Peninsula, as is Oman and Yemen and Qatar. Not Qatar, well, Qatar is in the area, but Oman, Yemen, and Kuwait. Yeah, all on the peninsula, on that piece of body there. So it seems to me that the closer you get to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the birthplace of Islam, the Prophet and so forth, people seem to be a little bit more religious and they are more firmer in their following of certain things, particularly with the segregation of the males and females in the society. So you will find in cases where there is not there is no accommodation for the female customers inside of places that you go to, you will find that the women simply walk up to the line. They would just walk to the line. You're standing there, you've been standing there for a while, and here's a woman, she'll just nice and easy, nice and smooth, just kind of walk right there. She'll never step physically directly in front of you, but when she approaches you from that angle, you know why she's there. All right. And most of the time, the men will cater to that, and they will just go ahead and let her go. All right. Because the men see the women as very gentle, very they are not the stronger people in the society. So there's a tendency to just to be a little bit more what's the word I would use? They're more accommodating, but they're more tolerant of them in that regard. Until the the businesses would make some type of facility to accommodate them. Like there was a bank that I used to go to when I was in Bahrain, and by the time I left there, maybe in the last year I was there, they had actually built another extension for the bank, so that now this bank would handle women only. It was they shared a common wall, so I don't know, maybe they bought the property next to it, and as they bought the property next to it, they just built everything was completely identical on both sides, but this one was just women. So they were all women tellers, women managers. I think maybe the only thing was a male security guard, but other than that, that was it. And I think the windows were tinted as well. So they really tried to go through a lot of changes to make sure that the mixing is something that you're going to do. It won't be that they have facilitated it for you. And I guess that's the best construction I can put on that, the best way I can elaborate. You'll never be able to separate men from women 100%, and you will never be able to construct any kind of barrier in a society without turning your country into some type of police state, where you're just blocking everybody. Also, it's not segregated like that, but the government makes sure that it is not complacent in aiding you to do. So when you walk past certain places, the windows are tinted so you can't see inside. in almost every single house that you will ever see in the Middle East, the windows are tinted. It's a tinted and mirrored glass on the outside, so you can't look by accident and see anything on the inside. So you will find that, and of course the classrooms and the schools and things like that, unless they are Western run, almost all of them, without exception, are segregated. So you will find this in the society. Does this prevent the men and women from mingling? Not necessarily so, but it is a deterrent, and it is a deterrent that has proven to work. People begin to accept this as part of the society, and Islam is part of the culture. This is something that is from Islam, to keep ourselves separate, so it does work. Um, so we talked about road rage. We talk about people shopping in the mall and so forth. Now, the other problem that you might run into, uh, I think that I only have experience with Americans like this, with Americans, and that is my advice to you would be to learn language, learn as much Arabic as you can. Whether you have to take some online courses, whether you go to university, whether you go to the Mahad or the centers, the language centers in different countries, and get some time in, or you have a book or whatever it is that you're doing. Learn as much Arabic as you can, because you're going to need it. You're definitely going to need it. One of the things that people do in this particular region, and they also do it in Egypt, I have firsthand information from people who live in Egypt, and that is the price of something changes when they find out that you are not an Arab. You might be dressed in traditional Arab garb, so to speak, for lack of a better term, but when you open your mouth to talk, it becomes clear this guy isn't from here. He's not from around here. Okay, he's American. After they get over the astonishment of seeing an American Muslim, B, dressed in Arab garb, he's an American dressed with traditional Arab clothing. When they get over the shock of that, everything skyrockets exponentially. So the apartment that may have been 200 dinar for the average Kuwaiti, or for a group of Egyptians or a group of Asian people, so on and so forth, for you, because you're American, is 300, maybe even 350, because they assume that Americans who are here, they have the top paying jobs, they make the most amount of money. He's got money, he can afford it. Of course, they're not taking into consideration the fact that you have a family to support. You have to buy food. You need to wash clothes. You have to buy toiletries. You have to buy furniture, and all of that. They're not taking that into consideration. All he realizes is, oh, he's American. He got money. He can afford it. That's okay. He can afford it. He got this is just the way it is. So if you can learn as much Arabic as you can probably talk your way into what you need to talk, or at least you'll be able to listen and understand what's going on. See if you can get yourself a good friend that someone you made friends with, and say, listen, Abdullah, or Amatullah, go find me a couple of places so I can look at, so that way when I land, you take me to these different places and show me which way is up, and talk to the person. I'm not gonna say anything. You talk to the person, and that way you'll be able to get the real price, because they're talking amongst themselves, their countrymen. They're both they're their own countrymen. So as they're talking, he's going to say, okay, yeah, this is my friend and so forth, and how much you want to charge? Oh, just give me 150 dinar, or give me 200 pounds or 300 pounds or whatever it is, and then he'll say, okay, it's for him. Now Johnny on the spot, you're standing in front of him. He's not going to be able to flip the price like that now, because he's American, because he just gave his word. He just told the person that was with him that this is the price. So it's better like that. But don't go by yourself if you can possibly help it. Um, I think that's about it as far as the way people treat you, and some of the things that you're going to experience. But you have to be ready, willing, and able to make any adjustments you can. And some things you're just going to have to let it roll off your shoulder and say, this is how the people are. This is how the people are. If you can do that, you will exist here without much problems. You will never acclimate yourself 100%, because some things are just not going to rub you the right way. You never conform to that. But at least you'll be able to know, okay, this is the way that the people are. I'm I'm not going to take it personal. I'm not going to be appalled by it much longer. This is just how the people are. So with that, salaam alaikum wa rahmatullahi